Okay, now that we've let the turkey rest for about 20 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and start carving it. Before I do that, I'm gonna talk about some of the things I've got. I've got my spatula. I also have a cordless electric knife that I use. You don't necessarily need a cordless one, but it makes life a whole lot easier. And then I just have a couple of boning knives here, just in case I need them to cut through the bone that we're gonna have as we're carving the turkey. And then also I have a pair of tongs that'll help us put everything onto our tray for display. So we'll go ahead and unwrap the turkey now. And just take it and we'll put it right here. Now usually you'd have a turkey, some sort of a platter that you would use to display the turkey or whatever. For just this demonstration, for this class, we're just going to use a regular pan that we've lined with tin foil. It doesn't make a big difference. So with our turkey, again, I've got the wings tucked inside of the turkey. What I'm going to do is go ahead and start carving it. And one of the first things that I do is I go ahead and take those wing tips out. Now remember, this part of the wing tip, you're not going to eat that anyway. We're going to clip that off. It's not a big deal. Just cosmetically, it looks like like you have a raw piece of turkey, but you don't. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay. So when we start with our turkey carving is we're going to start with the leg. And what I do is on the leg, you have this piece of skin that's right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting the skin down to the bone to a certain point there. I'll go ahead and turn it to the side here just a little bit so you can see what I'm going to do. So making sure the wing's out of the way, I'm going to take this piece of this drumstick and I'm going to push it down so I get to that certain point. So what I have now, I'm going to go ahead and get that skin. What I have now is I have the chicken thigh. I have the chicken thigh. So what I have now is the turkey thigh and the turkey leg. And so what I'm looking for is the bone that's connecting them right over here. And as you start doing this carving, you will see it. It'll be exposed right here. And so what I want to do is I want to cut and separate that from the main part of the turkey here. So now what I have is that whole leg quarter that's cut off of the turkey. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to turn it to the back towards you guys so you'll be able to see what I'm doing a little bit better. So I'm doing it towards you now. Again, making sure that the turkey wing's out of the way. What I'm going to do is I'll start cutting the skin as close down to the side as I can. And after I do that, take that leg quarter and push it down. Again, it's going to expose this area inside. You may be able to pop it loose, but you can see the exposed bone cut through it. There we go. So now I cut that loose, and again, we have the whole leg quarter here, and we'll carve that here in just a second. So now you're left with your wings. With your wings, what you can do is you can start pushing them out just a little bit. I got to turn this towards me so I can see. And on the inside, you'll have the area, same thing like your leg quarter, that's going to be a bone right there. And you just want to separate that from the main carcass here. Again, I'm just cutting right through the bone to free up that whole wing right there. Same thing on this side. Grab my knife. And a lot of it's just cutting the skin out of the way so you can see what you're doing. and just pulling it out to expose that bone right there. You're going to get messy doing this. This is one of the things that we get the most calls on, is how to carve these turkeys this time of year. I'm going to move these turkey leg quarters out of the way so you can see what we're doing here. So I pretty much have it freed up, and what I'm doing is just trying to separate that bone by going in between it. There it is. So for right now, I'll just take the wings and I'll put them over here out to the side, and we'll deal with that here in just a second. Remember, what we're doing is trying to get the most meat off of this turkey as we can. So now what you have left is mainly your turkey breast. And this is the part that what you need to do is you can feel the bone going right down the center, and I use that as my guide. Take your boning knife and come as close to the bone as you can. Okay, same thing all the way up to the front. Now, what's really good about this is you got to remember that bone on the inside of this carcass is going to be curved. So if you take your turkey and you start gently with your fingers pushing it out as you cut, you can see where that turkey breast needs to be cut right along the bone to start freeing it up. So remember, that bone is curved, so you can see that as you start using your fingers as you cut to pull it out. So now I got that all in one piece. It's a little bit different than the photos you see of people sitting here and slicing off the turkey breast. And this just makes it a little bit more efficient, a little bit easier to deal with. So again, find that bone, and you feel with your fingers right where it's at, and you can just start cutting. And use your fingers to start separating. Again, you're just going to go ahead, look at where it's curved at as you're exposing it here. And it should just fall off like that. You can separate it. So now that I separated the breasts from the carcass, you can see by just following that curve how much of the meat came off of there. And you can see on this side as well. Okay. Now, yeah, there's still some meat on here. You can go back and you can pick the bird. You can take some of that meat off, get the wishbone, do whatever you're wanting to do. But what I do at this point is I'm just going to put it off to the side because I'm wanting to get everything else ready for our presentation. So now we put the carcass over to the side. We're going to go ahead and start with the turkey breast first, and we're going to do a presentation here. We're going to mainly do your white meat in the middle, dark meat up to the sides, and then we'll have the legs and the turkey thighs to the back. Okay. So going ahead and starting with our turkey breast, what I like to do is go ahead and slice it at an angle. And so I'm going to get rid of this and start using the electric knife. It works a little bit easier. So you can start cutting at an angle with it. Now you can cut this turkey breast as thick or as thin as you want. Now I realize that not a lot of people are going to have an electric knife, and so I'll go ahead and cut this next one just using my regular boning knife here. Again, just cutting it off to an angle. And what I mean by an angle is just angling your knife so you're not just going straight up and down. It makes it a little bit easier to cut. It doesn't hold up the meat as well on the knife. That way you can get through it so you don't have a big struggle in cutting your meat. It also helps to make sure that you have a sharp knife when you're doing this. It'll make the difference. If your skin slides off, you can go ahead and just pull it back over it. It's not a real big deal. Okay. Put this in here. Put this in here because it dragged out. Make sure we have everything kind of lined up a little bit. And grab my spatula. Grab that out of here. All right, so now we have our white meat right in the middle. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab our turkey thigh and our turkey leg. I'm going to go ahead and separate them. And so what I'm going to do, start coming down at an angle until you feel that bone. And so then what you can do is grabbing the bone and push this down a little bit until you hear it pop. That's the two joints, the joint between the thigh and the leg. And so just cut in between them, which frees up your turkey leg, which you can put right up there in the front. Now, you can do two things. You can leave the thigh the way it is and just stick it on there, but a lot of people just want the meat. They're not wanting to have to deal with the bone. So what I do is I start cutting down to it, start cutting around the bone a little bit. Okay, so just freed up that bone. Check that over there. And what I like to do is just turn it all over, hold that meat together, and then just start slicing it. Sometimes you'll have people, you'll get the skin that'll come off, that's okay. You can put that off to the side. You can throw that up in the front if people want it. There's always people that like the turkey skin. They ask for it. So what I'm going to do is stick all my meat here. It's that dark meat that people like. Right up here in front of my turkey breast so people can find it. Again, I'll go ahead and do the same thing with the other one. Coming down at an angle till you hit that bone. Then you can pop it out to expose it. Again, if you have that skin, and you can just go ahead and put it off to the side. Find that turkey or the turkey thigh bone and start cutting on either side of it. That off to the side. And take your meat and just go ahead and start slicing it up. There's no real big rhyme or reason when it comes to cutting this thigh up on how you do it. Just find it easier to get that thigh bone out of the way to free up this meat. Because there's always people saying that there was never enough dark meat. Well, you can see now the chunks of white meat, the thighs here. And we'll turn this around after we get done with it. And put the skin over here to the side. So now you can do the same thing with your wing. You can come in right between. So now you have the drumstick on the thigh, or on the wing that you can put up there. And then you have your wing here. Might be able to bust it off. I don't know. There it goes. There. So now we got that part of it off. So now I can come over here, put my wing over here on the side. Do the same thing over here. Just expose that skin. If you need to pull it out, go ahead. Just go right in between. And as you do it, use your knife, push it between there. And you will find that bone that's connecting them. All you gotta do is cut between them. So now you have that other drumette from the wing there. Same thing. If you need to bust that piece off, now remember that people aren't gonna go that far up in the bone. They might. So you see our presentation. It's pretty easy for the people at the guests at your Thanksgiving dinner to be able to find the meat that they're wanting. Okay, so you have your drumettes in the front, you have the wing sections in the middle, all the white meat in the front, all the dark meat in the back. Okay, so hopefully this will help you in carving your turkey. It's the one question that we get all the time. Makes it easier, makes it simpler, a lot easier for people to get to what they want. So I hope you enjoyed this class and look forward to seeing you at the next one.